Good morning. How is everybody? I'm doing lives every week as long as my schedule allows it, and I will explain that. But what my goal is every week at around this time, 8 to 8:30, I'm kind of leaning toward the 8 o'clock so that I can get ahead with other stuff that may come up. I'll explain that. But right now, I'm just here, and I would love for people to join me. Now, I've watched lives before. I watched lives with people that have 100, 150 people join them every week from all over the world. And right now, that's not me. I'm on a YouTube journey, and I'm on the very front steps of a YouTube journey. A YouTube journey is long, and it takes time, and it takes consistency. And I'm learning all of those things, and it can impede a schedule. And sometimes you have to work around a schedule, but sometimes you have to make yourself be extremely consistent with just you're here, and that's where I am. I'm just gonna make the commitment to be here on Thursdays, except when something comes up. And again, I'll explain that. So my name's Bill McConnell. I'm in Colorado, Front Range. So I'm about an hour north of Denver. I can look east and see flat plains, farmland, mostly cattle, and oil fields. And I can look west and I see the mountains, and they're gorgeous. I'm about 45 miles from Estes Park and Rocky Mountain National Park, which is really, really cool to go up to. Excuse me. And so that's where I am. So it's 8 o'clock for me. It's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, 7 a.m. on the West Coast. Thanks for joining me if you actually join me live on the West Coast. And so here I am. And like I said, my goal is to be on a YouTube journey and to bring you along with me on the YouTube journey. Now, I've been doing video and creating courses and doing some online marketing and all that kind of stuff for a little over 5 years. And I actually did this weekly and had to stop about a year ago because we were redoing our entire house inside. And it made it impossible. Like we had floors done inside. And 1 week we had the entire floors, which means we had to take everything. We had to take everything in the house outside of sofas and huge tables and stuff. But we had to take those things and we had to put them all in one room. All the little chairs, this, that, everything, like printers, all that stuff in one room. And that room became like a 3D Tetris, just packed in. And I had to tear down absolutely everything in my office and put it in there. And yeah. And after that week, we had some stuff done outside. We had something else done outside. We had the house painted outside. It took a couple of weeks to get everything back into shape inside. And I just got out of the habit. And I just never went back to it. And that was a year ago in July, August. And I realized what a mistake that was. I should have jumped right back into it because I'd be a year ahead by now. But I'm not. Oh, well. So I'm here now. And like I said, so today, I know it's kind of, it's an ask me anything. And Ron Ross is here. Ron, thank you for watching. I am totally my fault for not getting back to you on that other thing. And I'll send you an email later today. It's my bad. I have very little information for you, but I will get back to you. But you can, I'm wondering if you can actually join me. Maybe not today, but we'll see if we can figure that out for the weeks to come if you want to join me again. And that'd be cool. So Ron Ross, I know Ron. Ron is in Indiana. Got it. My mind isn't going. And it just depends upon who you talk to. So, like I said, I'm on a YouTube journey to grow my channel and to eventually get monetized on YouTube. And I know it's going to take some time. I get that. And it's going to take people subscribing to me, subbing. And in order to get monetized on YouTube, you have to have 4,000 watch hours, not from me, but from everybody else. 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subs. And I believe it's within a 12-month period. So I'm just on the front end. So, again, excuse me. I could use my throat issue as an excuse not to do this, not to ever make another video or go live again. I could use that as an excuse. Explain what it takes. Let me say. Ron says, explain what it takes to get monetized. Well, if you have a YouTube channel, what it takes is 4,000 watch hours, which means that people are going to have to watch your videos for a total of 4,000 hours. And so if you have one video of 1 hour up, people are going to have to watch it 4,000 times. So it helps to have a lot of videos up. And not a lot of garbage videos, but actual videos of different things. So that's why I put out 1 or 2, possibly 3 videos per week on this channel. And I'm starting to go live. And so if Ron watches me for a whole hour, thanks, Ron. If you watch me for a whole hour, that's 1 watch hour. So that's the one part of it. And then the other part of it is 1,000 subscribers within the 12-month period. 1,000 subscribers. And that's what it takes. And then you apply. And what YouTube is doing is they're saying, are people watching you? And are people liking what you're doing? That's basically all they're doing. People get really wrapped up in the algorithm of, oh, the algorithm has changed and this and that. YouTube really only cares about how much people are watching what you're doing. Because if they watch what you're doing, they know that you're giving value. And if you're giving value, more people will watch. And if more people will watch, you get more subscribers, you get more watch hours. And when you do videos, and if you create videos and make them more than 8 minutes long, and this is kind of a key. If people like your videos and they're more than 8 minutes long, they can add ads. You know how you're watching through a video and all of a sudden it pops up for a little ad and you get to either watch it or get rid of it in 5 or 6 seconds? They get to pop in ads. YouTube makes their money not from me, because I'm not paying them anything to do on here, but they'll make their money from ads. And so they want you to make quality content. Excuse me. Good content. Oh, again, I apologize. If people have an excuse not to do things, they will find an excuse not to do things. And although this might not be the best live to watch, because every now and then I'm gagging a little bit, it's because it's the fall. I have a reactive airway. Sharing you my medical history, thanks. I have a reactive airway. And it is what it is. When I do videos, I have to edit some of this stuff out. But when you're live, there's no editing. None whatsoever with regard to the editing. So I'm not going to take this later and edit it. Live is live. I've been watching several different people who are much further along their YouTube journey than I am. And I keep up with them because they really keep ahead of the game. They're several levels ahead of me on a lot of things, which is great, because that's why I watch them. And the consensus is that people are looking more for authenticity and story and storyline than they are anything else. YouTube is the how-to. So how do I do this? How do I change the oil in a Jeep Wrangler, which is what I have down in my garage? How do I change the oil? Well, I know how to do it. I know how to do it. Maybe you know how to do it. But I could go on YouTube and find 15, 20, 30, 40 videos, all of different people showing me how to change the oil. And there'll be some videos where I'll look at it and go, I'm just not connecting with what he's doing there. And then there's other videos I'll watch of them doing the same thing. And I'll go, oh, I get it. I got it. I get the sequence now. I get how to do all the parts. And some people will use the excuse of, well, Bill, everybody else, there's 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 other people that are doing what you're doing. Yes. But I connect with some of those people, and I don't connect with some of them others. Some of them are very, very polished, and I like that to some degree. And some of them are just walking down a path, talking into a phone. And that's cool too. And it depends upon what people resonate with. Hey, I really resonate with this guy. Love the orange shirt. And I know he is a Broncos fan and likes coffee. Excuse me. So, go Broncos. I'm sure you saw that coming. So what I did mention, so basically that's what it takes to get monetized. Now, if you're doing shorts, it's extremely hard on a YouTube channel to get monetized just doing shorts. Do some long form, do some lives, be consistent, and that's how your channel is going to grow and provide value. And that's what it takes to get monetized. And don't fight the algorithm. Fight irrelevance. Getting on and rambling, which is a problem of mine. I get that. So I did mention that I would give just a basic studio tour. And yeah, so studio tour. And this was my daughter's bedroom, and my daughter's 35, so she doesn't live here anymore. Good for that. Excuse me. So now it's my studio. And it's taken me 3 years to get where I've got. But if you want to start a YouTube channel and start doing videos, then, excuse me. Gotta love live. Itchy nose. You don't need this stuff. I've collected this stuff over 4 or 5 years and having it in here for at least 3. You don't need this stuff. All you need is a phone, a quality microphone, a good microphone that will hook up to your phone. So your phone, a good microphone, and you're off to the races. That's really all you need. Oh, the third thing, a good idea. A good idea that people want to hear. That's what you need. So you don't need this stuff. So I'm going to show a quick video. It's like 45 seconds long. There's no sound to it. It's me walking from this room to my mobile studio. And you'll notice in the video why a lot of my life has changed. And it's for the better. It just really messes up my schedule. And I'm okay with that. I have to be okay with that. So here's the video. And it's just me walking from point A to point B in the house. So here's the studio. You've got Wire World down underneath. A couple of monitors. I got a big screen TV in this little room. And I have clothes sitting on the thing. And I go down the hallway. And you'll notice that although I am the age that I am, it looks like baby world going on out here. Just baby world everywhere. And then my secondary office or my secondary studio with 2 monitors and a full setup there, unsweetened iced tea, and a baby monitor for when the baby goes to sleep. And you're thinking, Bill, you don't have a baby monitor. You don't have a baby. And there's Ziggy, where I ended up. Ziggy's going, really? You're doing this again? And the answer is yes, I am doing this again. So my schedule's turned upside down because we're helping my daughter and son-in-law so that my daughter can keep working. She works from home on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but she goes into her office Mondays, Wednesdays. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, guess what I'm doing? We're watching the baby. My wife, ironically, works from home on Mondays and Wednesdays, and she goes into an office on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So they flip-flop, which is kind of cool. and that makes it that makes it available for my wife to help when she doesn't have clients. And but most of the time she has clients and has a full schedule. So I am the grandfather, and I take care of a baby, and I've done so since the 1st of August. I take care of my granddaughter, and every time I hold her, I know it's the most important thing I'll do on any given day. But as far as the schedule goes, my schedule's turned upside down. It's just absolutely crazy, because Tuesdays and Thursdays now, the days that I theoretically don't have to watch her, she had somebody else watching her, her mother-in-law, who totally wants to do it, which is really cool. But then she needed shoulder surgery, and now she can't pick a baby up for 6 months. So who's on call Tuesday and Thursday? I am. So I pretty much watch a baby full-time Monday and Wednesday, and then I'm on call Tuesday and Thursday. Hey, Dad, I need you at 8 o'clock Thursday morning, or I need you at 10 o'clock Tuesday morning for 3, 4, or 5 hours. And so I can't schedule a ton of stuff anymore. We've kind of worked out a deal where Thursdays at 8 a.m. my time is going to be pretty cool. So we've got that going on. And again, my favorite commenter and apparently fan is Ron Ross. And Ron says, "What's a good microphone?" You can get a ton of different microphones. You can get boom microphones. If you're just using a phone and a microphone that hooks up to a phone, then I suggest one of two things. DJI makes a portable microphone that comes in a package that looks something like this, probably a little bigger than this, because this isn't a DJI. DJI, you're going to spend some money on it. But here's the thing with YouTube. The camera on your phone is a pretty good camera, 4K. But if they can't hear you, and especially if you're outside, if you don't have the right kind of setup, then you're competing with wind or barking dogs or whatever the case may be. So the one recommendation is a DJI microphone. The other one is this is by Hollyland, and this is what I've got. This is less expensive, still works extremely well, and so I've got this plugs into your phone. So it just plugs into your phone, and it automatically hooks up to the microphones, of which I've got two. And these things have a magnet on the back, and I can just pop it on. And if you've watched some of my other videos when I'm outside, you'll see this with a dead cat. They call it a dead cat. No offense to cat lovers, but a dead cat, the idea of a dead cat is just it's a windbreaker. So it's just a windbreaker that goes over the microphone, and it kills any wind and a lot of the outside noise. So you put that on, and then it looks like I got a grippy, little caterpillar on my shirt, whatever. But every time I go outside, that's what I use. I use that for a microphone, for my, for the phone. And I also use these cameras and not the camera on the front. The camera on the front, Apple and Sony and Samsung and any other people that make phones or whatever. I don't know if Sony makes a phone, but anyway, you know what I mean. Google, Pixel, whatever. They don't spend a lot of money on the front phone. They spend the money on the back phones. See, this is an iPhone 16. It's got 3 cameras on the back, and they're good. They're good cameras. So I've learned how to frame myself up. So when I have a selfie stick, and I just frame myself up, and I've learned how to do that without having to look. Everybody wants to look at themselves on the screen, And sure, you can do that, but YouTube is looking for, for a certain level of quality, let's just say. Now, ironically, the camera that I'm using, that I'm looking into right now, is a Sony A5100. Bought it on eBay, and I had to buy it on eBay because when I bought it 3 years ago, it was already out of date, and they didn't make them anymore. But it fit the budget for me at the time, and I'm still using it. Now, these things, they're 4K. And that is pretty much the standard at this point, which is 4K. So you got that. And so at some point, I will update that camera. But right now, I don't need to do it. I just don't. I can't justify the money because the next camera that I get to go behind that is going to be $700-800. I think I'll wait. I'm going to keep apologizing for my throat because it does interrupt. It is what it is. But I'll tell you what it isn't. It's not an excuse. I refuse to give an excuse. So I did mention a quick run around. I'm going to turn that video on again. I'll talk about this in a minute, but I'm going to see if I can pause it at a certain point, because a couple of weeks ago I was in San Diego, so I had to take this on the road with me. So we go by all Babyland again. Yep, that's our living room and our dining room. So if I pause right here, I've got my laptop, which is a 2019 model. It's not it doesn't have the M chips in it, which I wish it did. So it sits out there and it gets hot. I may have to get a new laptop before I get a new camera, but one thing at a time. And I've got and this sits up on a little rack just so it gets a little air in it so it doesn't get too hot. And then I got a travel monitor. These things are $70, $75. And it's thinner than the laptop. Goes in the backpack, and I love having two monitors, as you may have figured it out. I love having two monitors, and I can take one of my cameras that I have hooked up here. I can take one of those cameras, and then I have a camera with me to go on the road. I did a video while I was down in San Diego, and I couldn't go live because the Wi-Fi was so bad. I uploaded a 10-minute video and it took 2 hours. And I'm going, yeah, because I'm used to being right here. You have to have a certain amount of bandwidth in order to go live, and the bandwidth here in the office, because I'm hooked up directly to my router, I get about 500 on the speed. Upload up and down, I can get over 500, which makes it extremely easy to do. Extremely good. One less thing to worry about. So if you have really bad Wi-Fi and you're only running on 3, 4, or 5 megabit per second, yeah, makes it tough. It makes it really, really hard. So a couple other things, and it's just because I do it. And like I said, if it is a quick office tour, studio tour, you don't need any of this stuff. Like I said, you just need a good microphone, and you just need your phone, which just about everybody has, and you're off to the races. And a good idea, because people aren't going to listen to people with a bad idea. So I suffer from GAS, G-A-S. It's gear acquisition syndrome. I may have some other gas, but I'm not going to talk about that. Gear acquisition syndrome. I think I have to have stuff, and I don't. And to be honest, you don't either. But ironically, with this setup, I have 4 cameras. I have this camera, which is a Sony A5100, which is very out of date, but it works, and we're good with it. And then I've got I got this camera, which is not set up for light, obviously. And this is an Elgato face cam. And so I've got it just sitting off to the side because I can. And then I've got the really, really, really old camera up here just hanging down. And it's there for one reason only, because I can do it. Because I can, because I could, and I did. So, and that is a C922 Pro from Logitech, and they've been around 10, 12 years. There you go. And you can get those for, I don't know, probably $30 nowadays. I don't need to buy another one. And I've got it sitting up there behind me. But then the other cool thing is I've got my camera. Oops, wait a sec. I've got my phone set up as a camera. And this is the only one. All the others are wired in or hardwired in. This one's the only one on Wi-Fi. And it's obvious that that's a pretty good look right there. That is a really good look right there. And so if I were to back up a little bit and turn that around, you will be able to see my full setup. So the camera's behind a teleprompter, which you don't need. I use it for some stuff, but you don't need it. It's really cool to have, but you don't need it. And then I've got the 2 monitors. I got a couple of lights up there that are hooked up. And I can turn those on and off. I actually do turn them on and off either with my computer, but with my phone. And then there's the software that I'm using, which you get the infinity thing going on there on one of the monitors. And then there's the microphone that I'm using. That is an Elgato Wave 3 microphone. And I went down the Elgato tunnel because the teleprompter is an Elgato teleprompter. This camera over here that I already showed you is Elgato, and the stands are Elgato, and this thing down here is a Stream Deck, and it's Elgato, and it's really cool. So when I see those buttons at the top, when I push C922, I get that camera. When I press the iPhone, I get that camera. When I press Face Cam, I get that camera. When I want to go back to the main screen, I press that camera and I go straight back to that. And that's all from that push button Elgato Stream Deck, which you program yourself. So I can go down, I can push a button, and you know we're live. Here we are. And that'll go away in a sec, I think. And I knew it would. So, and I can do that. And then when people join me, and I should have done this first when Dr. Ross joined me. I should have done this. Welcome to the live stream. And I think that's about all I've got. I want to thank Dr. Ross for jumping in and just spending a little bit of time with me. I appreciate that. I'll do one other thing, and this might be a whole different live stream at some other point. But this is the software that I use. Oh, you notice the one thing that you didn't get on the video was, well, if the laptop's out in the dining room, what are you using? So what am I using? So there's the thing. So I'll go back here. On the wall back here is a Mac Mini, and that's got an M2 chip in it, which makes it pretty up to date. And that is my office computer. So it's not the laptop; it's the office computer. It's the computer that's in the office, strapped to the wall with 2,703 wires coming at the bottom. And then I needed a docking station. That's a CalDigit docking station. And so I got a bunch of wires and stuff coming out of that so that it runs the monitors. I can actually hook up my TV, my 55-inch TV, which is overkill for this office. And I can do all of that. So that's the office. And do you need this? No. Is it fun to have? Yes. Like I said, it took me about 5 years to connect all of this stuff. Oh, and there's one other thing that is, you just don't know it. You just don't see it, kind of. And it's that little sucker right there. That's my solid state drive, which I put just about everything on because I can unplug it, take it with me for when I do other stuff. When I have to go away with my wife to a conference or something like that, I can just take that with me, and I have all of my stuff safe and secure and away from having to trust the cloud to get it for me, like ending up in a hotel with Wi-Fi that is absolutely terrible. I've done enough for today. I want to thank everybody for taking a look, taking a listen. I appreciate the interaction. Have any questions? I'll be back next week. As far as I know, I want to say yes, but as far as I know, I will be back next week. I'm pretty sure I will. And it will be live. It will be live. And I will be live. So the goal for me is every week to be live, put out several videos. If you have any thoughts for videos, how to, what you need to know, something else on my YouTube journey, and the YouTube journey that you want to be on as well, just ask, and that will be the topic of my next video. And I'd love to get my ideas from you guys. Other than that, I'm done. I'm out, because in about an hour, I have to leave and go and spend some time with my granddaughter. So my daughter can work and do her job. That being said, my name is Bill, here in Colorado. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.